What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. For anybody new, my name is Matt Luna, and we're going to be talking about how to rig a Texas rig today. A Texas rig is a staple technique that every bass fisherman needs to have in their arsenal at all times, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to rig up a Texas rig. The Texas rig is one of the techniques that I first learned how to fish when it came to fishing artificial lures. It's probably the technique that I caught my first bass on an artificial lure on, and the Texas rig is just something that is super versatile. You can fish it in a ton of different situations. And in today's video, I'm going to show you the sinker, the glass bead, and the hook that I use in most of my Texas rig presentations. So here where I'm fishing today, most likely these fish are going to be in 15 to 20 foot of water based on the time of year that is. So I have a 1/2 ounce tungsten bullet weight, and I'm going to slide this weight on to my line. And we're going to get onto the specific line, reel, and rod and everything that I use for my Texas rigs in a minute. But first, I'm going to show you how I set it up. So I have my 1/2 ounce bullet weight right here, tungsten. I do recommend tungsten for this presentation because they are more dense and more sensitive. It's just going to help you feel everything down on the bottom. And the next thing that I like to put on my Texas rigs is a red glass bead. The reason I like this glass bead is because it gives it a little bit of sound down on the water. And when you hear crawdads and different stuff down on the water as they're walking around on those rocks, they do make a little bit of a noise. And I feel like this glass bead along with that tungsten weight mimics that sound pretty well. And the next thing that you're going to need is your hook of choice. Now you can use an EWG style hook like this, or you can use a round bend style hook. It kind of depends on the forage that you're fishing around. If you're fishing around rock, I like to go with the EWG style, and if you're fishing around wood and some grass and stuff like that, then you might want to go with the round bend. Most of the cover that I'm fishing here at the lake that I'm going to be fishing at today is rock, so I'm going to go with that EWG style. And I like to use a Palomar knot for my knots. So I'm going to basically feed it through one time, and then I'm going to feed it back through while maintaining a loop in my line. So you basically have a loop on one side and your tag end on the other, and you're going to make an overhand knot. And then now you have a loop on the other side of your tag end, and you're going to take your hook and go through the loop you created with that overhand knot. And then you're going to pull all your line up, and I like to wet the line right here. And then you start pulling everything tight, and now we just need to cut our tag end, and now we're basically ready to go fish our Texas rig. So the final step in setting up our Texas rig is putting our hook and our soft plastic together. This is the 6 Cents Bongo, brand new bait that just came out from 6 Cents. And what I like to do is I'm going to take this hook point and go directly down in the middle of this bait, and then come out the top of it, slide this thing all the way up, and then you want to check how far down your hook point goes. It goes about 1/8 of an inch down from the bottom. So I'm going to put that hook point straight up through the bait so it comes out and lays out the top just like that. Then what we're going to do is expose it. So we're going to just put that hook point in just slightly, so that way we have a nice, very, very weedless presentation. So all said and done, you should have a presentation that looks just like this. You have your tungsten weight at the top with your glass bead down to your hook with the soft plastic of choice. The main thing to keep in mind is having your soft plastic perfectly straight on that hook, so that way you get the most natural action out of your bait. So now when it comes to the rod, the reel, the line, and everything for your Texas rig, this is what I got it set up on right now. This is the 6 Cents Unicorn Rod, 7'3" medium heavy, and I have it paired up on the Daiwa Tatula SVTW 103 in the 7.1:1 gear ratio, and I have 12-pound test fluorocarbon spooled up there. It's either a Seaguar or a Sunline. I use them very interchangeably, but this does have 12-pound test. Now, depending on where you fish, the cover that you're fishing around, you may want to go up in line size to a 15 or 17 pound, but for most of my fishing, that 12-pound test does very well for me. I have a lot of clear water, so having that lighter line tends to help. But if you live around super big fish, super thick cover, around a lot of wood, you may need to go up in line size so you're not breaking off. But for the majority of my fishing, this 12-pound test does well for me, but you may need to adjust that for wherever you're fishing specifically. Guys, a lot of this stuff can be found at the 6th Sense Fishing website. The rod, the baits, the hook, the weight, they all can be found at 6thsensefishing.com, and my discount code for them is Luna10. It'll save you 10% off. So if you want to get any of this stuff, make sure to go down in the description of today's video and check all the different components and stuff like that out. I do have discounts and links to the reel and the line as well through Omnia Fishing. So make sure to use those links and those discount codes because it does go directly back to the channel. And one of my other favorite techniques to fish is the Carolina rig. So if you want to learn more about fishing the Carolina rig, in addition to watching this Texas rig video, make sure to click the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.